Okay, guys, I just finished my run, and I was going to do this as a Facebook Live. I can't get Facebook Live on our group, so for some reason today I couldn't. Anyway, I just finished the run. I want to talk about this stuff because today's I think is minus 100 degrees. It's not. It's actually starting to snow, which is yay! Finally, drifting more. And is really this snow. This is all you got. Not really that great. So I'll talk about my run today really quickly. Next Monday, I think I'm going to do that. What you do before your run, what happens during the run, after the run. I'll include biomechanics a little bit in that, what you should do for a warm up. If you do warm up, cool down, what you should do for a cool down. And yeah, we'll talk about that and running this thing. Hopefully it still snows. I may have to get the snowblower out today. Yay. I'm one of those guys. Anyhow, so I went for my run. It's too late now. I was going to show you my glasses. I've fogged up. I'm lucky enough I can run without them. I can't see really far distances. But if you have that problem, there are lots of different things online talking about that, what to do to avoid that. I just put mine in my pocket and just keep on going. If you wear contacts, I don't know if you have the same problem. I know some people wear like goggles for skiing. That's an option as well. But for me, it's not an issue. If it is for you, check that out. Well, maybe I'll see if we can get somebody to talk about that. I know there's lots of people on our running club, running recreational runners Facebook page that I'll answer. So I'll ask, reach out. Today was hard. Today was hard running. I'm just going to say it was not a day for a PB, personal best or personal record. It's just because there's no give to the ground. There's concrete, asphalt. Maybe snow would be better, but there's really not much snow. But it's pounding, pounding, pounding. And I did wear my winter running shoes today. My Sauconys, these things. Can I get them off today to show you? They're called Saucony Peregrine Ice Plus, and they have a bit more traction than other shoes. I'm going to say if there's ice, that doesn't make much difference, but that's what they got. And I think in your model, if you look for that, look for it in blue. I think blue is a little bit stronger for traction aids. I think there's different brands. Ultra, I think, has that in their trail shoes. I don't know if they have a winter shoe, but again, it's got Gore-Tex in it, so it keeps me warm and dry. It breathes. Don't If somebody tells you Gore-Tex doesn't breathe, they're lying. It does breathe. The holes in the Gore-Tex are small enough that water will not get in, so you won't get wet today. Good luck. But it also lets it breathe, so sweat evaporates. So you don't get a soaking wet foot. So that's a thing. There are socks with Gore-Tex as well, and they do the same thing. So if you want to do that to keep even drier, for sure. But this does have grip on it. It does have a little bit. There's no structure to the shoes. It's a neutral shoe. If you're running off-road, you never really need a stability shoe. If you're running on snow, really your feet are moving all over the place, so that doesn't really work. For this, I would say yes. I'm thinking next run, maybe even tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I may just throw these things, my Yak tracks on my shoe. My regular shoes just have more cushioning. I think today was horrible. I could not get going. There are these things. We don't sell the running. They're called they're a big long word that starts with the letter K. These things, and they are a little extreme. If you're running off road, yes. If you're running on sidewalk, I think it's a little bit more than you need. You can do these things as well, like galoshes, which is cool. They have pins on the bottom, but I find with these, even with this thing on the front, they do fall off. There's some that really fall off a lot. Funny story. I think it was last winter, a couple winters ago. We had a thing last year where it would freeze, snow, melt, freeze, freezing rain, snow, melt, freeze. So the trails where you needed the traction, and those shoes were not good enough. I needed the pins, and I had my old ones on, these things, and it fell off one foot. And I didn't notice right away. I just noticed eventually at some point one foot was slipping a bit, and I looked down, it's gone. Ran a bit further. There's another one lying by the side of the road. So somebody else had the same problem. So yeah, I don't think they're the best things in the world. They're less expensive than these things. And I will say, Yak tracks do have a lifespan. Especially if you wear them into spring when there's some more asphalt and snow, the pins on the bottom will break. If you can see that, and the springs on the back will actually break too. So they're good for a while. These are probably still good for this year because I still have some pins. And the toes have the pins, the back has the springs, and they seem to work fine. I just throw them on one pair of shoes, leave them on there for the winter. I always have my other shoes, so that's fine. I work for the, we used to work, well, I still work for the Renium. So I've got like 6 pairs of shoes, so it doesn't matter. But if you have one pair of shoes that you're just going to use throughout the winter, yes. If you have 2 pairs of shoes and you're going to swap back and forth, even better. So you don't have to take them off, put them on, take them off, put them on. For one thing that a lot of people complain about in wintertime, hands, right? Your hands get cold as soon as you get outside and it's cold. First of all, wear gloves, don't wear mitts. Or wear mitts, not gloves. Mitts are keeping your hands a bit warmer. If you do feel your hands get cold, just make a fist inside. And with mitts, that's probably a lot easier than with gloves. But again, I wear these today. They're probably a little bit more than I needed. But inside, I have these things. These things. They're called little hotties, pockets. I throw them in my gloves and I'm fine. Thumb gets cold sometimes, so I just pull the thumb out of the thumb thing, and it's fine. And these things, what you do with them when you're finished running, which I should do right away, throw them in a baggie, throw them in your sock drawers to keep them dark, so you can use them tomorrow. They will last like 2 or 3 days because they do cost money. So yeah, so do that. And so top of head, toque. Heat comes out the top of your head, right? We know that from summertime. If you throw a cap on, keeps the heat down, right? So in wintertime, keep it covered. If you get too hot, just take it off. That's the bottom line there. Again, I like layering my head as much as the rest of my body. So I've got a toque on. Sometimes I'll do a balaclava and the toque and a headband. And as I progress, I'll take everything off. And then eventually I just have the balaclava pulled up over my ears, or just the toque, because the balaclava you can pull off, put the toque back on. Yes, I did work for Canadian National Railways. So that keeps my head warm. I want to take this off, but okay. I haven't got my hair cut yet, guys. It's happening on, I think, next Tuesday. For now, I may even go for a man bun. I doubt it, but yeah, so yay. Jim Ignatowski, here I am. Anyhow, so yeah, so I got that on my head. I also wear a buff, something I learned a little while ago, and it's served me well. Keep the top of your jacket covered. Keep the heat in, right? That's why we have zippers and elastics on the bottom of our tights. Keep the heat in. This has worked miracles. It works. I wore 3 layers today. I probably could have got away with 2. It was cold for the start, which we know when you start your run, you should feel a bit cold, not hot. If you feel hot as soon as you get outside, and you still feel warm, you're overdressed. We know that. But also, we know at the start of winter, look, most of us will throw everything we own on, and through winter, as we get used to the winter, we'll decide to take more layers off. That's why I like the idea of a journal. Keep a journal, keep track, especially through winter, even the summer, what you wore for every run, what worked, what didn't. So when it's that temperature again, you can look back and see, okay, it was -20, and I wore this and it was too much. So this time it's -20. I'll take a little bit off, or it wasn't enough, so add. So understand that. List what you had on your head. Doesn't matter. Anyhow, so a buff. This may be a bit overkill too. I just tore it, I think, a little bit. It's got a little bit of felt on the bottom, again, to keep me warm. Sometimes I just wear an army buff, and buffs are great. I don't know who invented them, but I know there's other brands that do the same thing. And just for winter, for summer, for soaking in water in the summer when it's hot and just throwing it top of your head. I haven't got to the point where I can actually wear it like a bandana, but I have friends that help me do that. Anyhow, so that's my head. There's a lot going on in there, as you guys know, so that's why I keep it covered. Anyhow, and yeah, I didn't fall. I'm really worried about that, conscious about the ice. There is ice. Again, we're having the same problem this year. Lots of ice, not a lot of snow. And now the snow is going to be on top of that ice. You won't be able to see it. So I'm going to say traction aids. Just the winter shoes. There are different shoes. There's one called Ice Buds, and or Ice Bug, something like that. And they actually have pins in the shoes. And there's others where you can actually pull the pins off and put them on again, which is kind of cool. But for winter, yeah, traction, think traction. Summer, you don't have the problem, but yes, winter time for sure. Keep your head covered. We covered the hands. So the body. And let's talk about that. Okay, that's a little good close. So top, I wear a jacket. It's got a little bit more insulation in it. I don't have a jacket that's in between. I got one for really, really light, really, really cold. I don't have an in between. So this sometimes has to do double duty. And yes, I carried water with me, and though we don't sell these things anymore to carrying a water bottle with you. We sell these things, but we don't sell these things. I don't know. Hopefully somebody from Birmingham sees this and thinks that's insane. We should be carrying these again. But it's handy to have. I like having a camera with me. A camera, not my phone. I should actually have my phone. That makes more sense. But I like the camera better for taking pictures. Camera for taking pictures, phone for, oh my God, I fell in my head again. So it's handy to have. I will say I wore one thing too. Did it work? Yes, I did. My these things. It's called road ID. This. A little bit of information on there on my wrist. So if I do happen to fall on my head again, somebody sees me, it's got this on there. They can phone my wife and tell her, by the way, your husband just fell and cracked his head open again. So it's nice to have that. I didn't say that, sorry. But just, yeah, it's nice to have that just in case. I know some watches will call the authorities. If you have an Apple Watch, it will dial 911 if you're on the ground and stay there for a significant period of time, which is really cool. Anyhow, so wore jacket. And again, it's got a little more insulation in it. Remember we used to do with suit jackets, guys? Now we're doing with jackets, so that's a little bit more. So that, and I got 2 layers underneath. Did I need 2 layers? Yes, I did. Because it felt cold at the start. But the problem is, if you sweat, and the sweat stays in there and doesn't breathe out, it freezes. So you have ice on the inside of your jacket, inside of your clothes. So make sure everything breathes. That jacket does. It's got sleeve things that I can unzip. It does breathe really, really well. Watch worked fine. I've had a watch at one point that didn't. It would freeze up when I ran. I think it was, I don't know what brand it was. Doesn't happen anymore. So they've improved that part. So 1 layer on top. And this I got from Craft from forever. Nice thing about winter, this stuff, winter stuff lasts forever. So you buy it once, you're good for like, oh, for me, 10 years. So this may be more than 10 years. Anyhow, second layer, I'm not going to take this off because I don't want to show skin. But yeah, and just because I wore my tights, my insulated Earth Groove tights. Yeah, Jill Boychuk, if you're watching that, that's I hope these would keep me warmer. They did. And for once they actually stayed up. I had a problem with these not fitting properly and rolling down. And I had somebody running behind me say, by the way, Warren, your pencil fall down. So these work great. I'm not going to show you how underneath, but guys, keep the family jewels warm. And again, make sure it's secure on the bottom. These have an elastic, some have zippers. Brooks has great tights for winter. I'm going to endorse them as well. I've got a pair that I love. Rainier as well, because Rainier's based in Edmonton, so they know what cold's like. So if you stick with that, yeah, you'll be fine. The thing about winter too, don't worry about PBs or PRs. Yes, you'll see guys that can run really fast in this stuff. I don't even worry about that anymore. The day I fell, I was trying to go fast and it just did not work. I thought if I was lighter on my feet, I wouldn't slip. Lesson learned. So yeah, so just run, keep active. I know a lot of people will be yelling at me, say, well, I just do treadmills. This is more fun. As soon as I saw the snow coming out, it's gorgeous. So yeah, it's better if you can do it with people. I will do that tomorrow at Run Club if you want to come to St. Albert from wherever you are. We'll have a group. And it wasn't that bad. I don't know what the temperature is right now. My phone's not in here, so I can't check the temperature. But it wasn't minus 38 with a wind chill. It was fine. It's if you talk to non-runners, they'll say a lot of things that you shouldn't run in this stuff. I will say one thing that I've changed. Today wasn't that bad, so I didn't. But if it gets down to minus 30, I will cover my mouth. It's just we've learned a little bit more about lungs and chest and what happens, and neck and whatever. We used to say, nah, you can't freeze your lungs if you froze your lungs. The only way you freeze your lungs is if you're dead. That still stands. But will damage the lungs, right? That's a friend is doing their research on that right now. And I've heard this too. I should know this. Keep the mouth covered. You want to be able to breathe. You want something you can breathe through, and something if you have to, you can pull down real quick and cover up again. Because I do that. I'm a snot rocket. My nose runs all the time, and so that helps. That doubles as a Kleenex, I guess, or as a scarf even. But I keep a buff covering my face when it gets really cold, because you don't want skin exposed because you get frostbite, right? But also you want to keep moisture in your throat. And what happens in this time of year, air is pretty dry, so keep that moisture in. That helps. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to commit to doing that. If you see me running and I don't, yell at me. But yeah, and take water with you to hydrate as well, because we don't notice the sweat as much in this kind of weather. It's like being on a bike, right? You don't think you sweat. You don't think you need to hydrate. Yes, you do. Hydration is important year round. And I think I've told everybody in this group, the various clinics I've taught, I always carry water with me or Gatorade. Does it freeze? This didn't, and it's like minus 20 something. So it's not always possible. You can put it underneath your jacket. If you have a hydration pack, you can keeps you warm, keep it underneath the jacket as well. But yeah, don't forget to hydrate. Especially if going long distances, you have to. What are you going to do? Not hydrate when you run 26 miles? So yeah, and Hypo Half is coming up real quick for those of you who are doing it. I'm just in the 5K because I have to work with the events team and setting up teardown. But if you're in Edmonton, we'll see you there. If you're near St. Albert, we'll see you tomorrow night. Hannah. Anyhow, I'm just not going to say names. Anyhow, time for a shower. Get this hair done. It's not getting cut anytime soon. So guys, you'll see this over and over again. I will shave anyway. So talk on Monday for sure. I might do something before then about I'll come up with something. But yeah, no sign at any clinics anytime soon, virtual or in person. Everything's on pause. I don't know what that means, but maybe we'll start something up in Edmonton Marathon weekend, which means we won't start probably in April till April. But if you're doing Victoria, Ottawa, Toronto, Monday nights we'll be talking about training for those events specifically. But as also last night we had Walker who's planning to walk a marathon in the fall. We've got somebody returning to running after a break, so I can do learn to runs all the way to marathons on one night. I don't know how, but I'll figure that out. I can write out schedules and training plans and programs and whatever. And if we get enough people, I'll bring guest speakers as well. So anyhow, talk soon. That's weird when you look at this and all the numbers are backwards, right? It's like, what? It's like a mirror. Anyhow, we'll talk next. Have a good Tuesday.